Hi, I'm Reverend Roy, and today we're going to do a little mini class on mirror boxes. And this is one of my favorite spells to do. So, a mirror box, just a box full of mirrors. And there are different ways to do this. Some people will buy just little mirrors and put inside. Some people like to take a mirror and actually break it and glue the pieces inside. I like the tile because I want it as full of mirrors as I can get it. There's really two main reasons for using a mirror box. The first is reversing. So if you know someone is crossing you, working roots on you, you can put them in a mirror box and send all of that back to them and stop the crossing. The second type of spell for a mirror box is more of a karmic spell. To punish someone, you put them in a mirror box by themselves and make them look at themselves for a while. Look at the damage they've done, the harm they've caused. And if you're doing a karmic type spell, there's two ways to do that. You can do it for a temporary amount of time, like 30 days, put them in a box for 30 days, or you can do it permanently. It's up to you to decide how much damage they've done. So, alright, so once you have when you start working on your mirror box, you want to have a black candle burning while you do this. I'm going to light too. Maybe. Okay. So we'll let those candles get to burning while we work on this. You got to represent the person you're putting in the box. You can do that with a poppet. You can do it with a figure candle. Write their name on the candle in the wax. For the poppet, you want to use as much information as you have available to you. You can write their name on the poppet. You can put information from them inside, cut it open, or make your own. Put it in while you're making it. If you have any their hair, fingernail clippings, anything like that, put that in here. As much information as you can get into this poppet that represents them, the better you'll be. But just work with what you have. And the first thing you want to do when you're doing this, you're going to create your torture bed. That's the first thing. So take the bottom of your box, and there's different things you can use. I'm going to use some red pepper because we want to burn their soul. Put some of that in the bottom. I'm going to use some black pepper. We want pins and needles, and if you don't have the entire bottom of the box covered with mirrors like I do, you can actually drive the nails up through the bottom, make them lay on a bed of nails. But I can't do that on this one. So we're going to put lots of pins and needles in here. You can put thorns if you want to gather some thorns and put them in there. You could put some wasp. Put a wasp in there if you find some dead ones and put in there. Remember, this is a baneful magic, so just go with it as far as you can go. Barberry leaves are good. Blackberry leaves are good. In magic, I like using blackberry leaves because they're a little bit sticky, so this makes it stick to them. Put a little bit of that in there. And then we're going to put our culprit in. We've made them a little torture bed to lay in. And we want to put that in there. And now we want to cover them. We want to keep going with this. So alum is a great thing to use, especially if it is a reversing spell. Alum makes people keep their mouth shut. They can't talk. So we'll cover them with a little bit of that. Gopher dust. Gopher dust is really strong. It depends on how far you want to go with this. The only thing I ever use gopher dust for is to kill somebody. Seriously torture them. Huh? Let's put some more red pepper on top of it. We're gonna burn their soul. Cover them up good. Alright. Now we want to add some brimstone, sulfur. Traditionally, you use sulfur to send someone to hell. That's what it's for. And it stinks. So we're going to add some sulfur on top of this. And I knew I'd get it all over my hand. And then I'm going to add some vandal root, another baneful herb, and I like using it in this just because it smells so bad. So I'm doing this with the intent to stink up their life. And then you could, depending on how you're wanting to work this spell, you could also add a powder. You could add some uncrossing powder. If you're just wanting to uncross, you could do destroy everything. You could use doom, which means death unto my enemies. So it depends on how far you want to go with it. It's goddess alum stings. Alum and vandal root and sulfur. Alright. So now at this point you want to like say a little prayer over this. You want to put your intention into this. Whatever spell you're trying to work. Speak that into this. Yell at them so that they hear it. This isn't about being sweet and kind. Yell it to them. Then you want to tie your box up. For this little box, I'm only going to use 2. Sometimes I use 3. So I'm going to take some black cord and tie the box together. Yep, so they can't get out. I'm going to put 2 on here for demonstration purposes. Well, come on. And let's trim this up. And then take one of your black candles and seal those knots so that they can't untie it. A little bit of that on there and let it seal. Alright, so from this point, you've got them in the box. What are you going to do with it? It depends on how you're wanting to work your spell. You know, if you're just doing a 30-day spell, something like that, keep them in there for a while. You can put it on your altar. You can put it with someone where no one can see it. Just hold on to it until you're ready to let them out of the box. If you really want to mess them up, keep shaking the box every day. Get them mixed up in there. Getting those nails up their ass. If you're wanting to leave them in there permanently, then I would suggest you bury this in a graveyard. Take it out at night, bury it in a graveyard. There are rules about working with graveyard. One of the things that you're going to want to do as you enter the graveyard, you're going to ask permission of the spirits to enter and ask permission of the spirits to bury the box there. Dig a hole, bury the box. You're going to leave a payment. I do that in the number 9. I usually leave 9 shiny dimes in anything I bury in a graveyard because that's a payment. That's a thank you to the spirits for burying this here. In the hole. I put it in the hole with it. You can make an offering of whiskey after you've buried the box. Just pour whiskey over the ground where you put it in. After you've buried your box, you want to turn around, leave, do not look back. You want to leave this. So don't look back, don't go back and check on it. And as you leave the gates to the cemetery, the entrance to the cemetery, it's always appropriate to leave an offering at the gate for all the spirits who let you in, and I usually leave 3/4 for that. So just drop them by the gate. After you do any kind of baneful work like this, you want to do a cleansing bath. So create your box, put them in it, take it to the graveyard, bury it, thank the spirits as you leave, and then go home and do a cleansing bath. Do you an herb bath? The 13 herb bath is good to clean everything off. You don't want to walk around with that junk on, you know, that kind of energy on you all day. One other little point about when you're working with a mirror box, mirrors hold energy. They hold images. When you're creating a mirror box for someone, do not look directly into the mirror. You don't want to trap yourself in there with them. So keep it at a distance, keep it at an angle where you're not looking in the mirror. And if you do actually do that, stop your spell, clean the glass. You know, vinegar and water is good. Alcohol, with just anything like that to clean the glass. And so that's my mini class. Got any questions? Any questions? Cool. All right. Thank you for coming.